FluentCast. Real English, real conversations, real confidence. This is FluentCast.
Hello, and welcome back to FluentCast, the podcast where we explore the intersection of language, culture, and the world we live in. I'm your host, Diego, and before we dive into today's topic, if you are enjoying our episodes and want to keep improving your English through real-world discussions, make sure to hit that subscribe button on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you listen. It really helps us grow our community. Okay, so last week was a lot. If you didn't listen to episode 16 yet, go back and do that first. We talked about how our attention spans are getting shorter. We talked about how movies are getting dumber and how AI might be making us think less. It was a lot of stuff. And at the very end, Brenda said something that a lot of people couldn't stop thinking about. I got a lot of my students asking me about it. And she said we would come back this week to talk about how to survive all of this. She called it 5 words, how to survive a world full of idiots. And Brenda is back. Brenda, hi.
Hi, Diego. Yes, I see that line followed me here. And yes, we're back today for a really interesting discussion.
Yes, a very interesting discussion. Well, I want to start today with the word itself. You said how to survive a world full of idiots. And the word idiot, because sounds a little bit like strong word. For some people, it may sound like a joke, right? But I think for a lot of people listening, it also feels real, like not a joke at all. So, Brenda, what does the word idiot actually mean? And where does the word come from?
Okay, so this is actually really interesting. The word idiot in modern use means a stupid person or someone who is behaving in a stupid way. But, the word idiot is very old. I mean, it comes from ancient Greek, from a word that was idiotes, and it did not mean stupid, not at all. It meant a private person, someone who only cared about their own little world and didn't pay attention to what was happening around them. In Greek society, that was actually seen as a problem, because if you didn't participate, if you didn't think about the bigger picture, you were absent, disconnected.
So, what you are telling me is that the original meaning of the word idiot wasn't someone who couldn't think, like we use nowadays. But in the past, it was someone who chose not to pay attention.
Exactly. And honestly, that's a much better description of what's happening today. Most people are not stupid. Their brains work fine. But a lot of people have stopped paying attention. They react instead of thinking. They share things before reading them. They get angry before understanding. That's, in my view, the modern version of the word.
That actually makes me feel better and worse at the same time.
Yeah, it does both.
Okay, so here is something I think about a lot. You look at social media, right? And you see the comment sessions, the arguments, the people who are absolutely certain that they are right and everyone else is an idiot. And it just keeps getting worse. Do you see a connection? Is there a connection between what we talked about last week, the attention drop, the cognitive decline, and all of this online chaos that we see in our time?
Yes, and unfortunately, it's a direct connection. Here's how it works. When your attention is always scattered, when your brain never gets a chance to slow down and really think, you start to operate in a very different mode, a fast, automatic mode. You see something and you react immediately. You feel something and you act on it. There is no pause, no, wait, is this actually true? You are just reacting. It is just reaction, over and over.
And the internet is designed for that.
Completely designed for it. Anger travels faster than facts online. Fear gets more clicks than nuance. The platforms reward the fast reaction, the share, the comment, the outrage. And when millions of people are all doing this at the same time, you get what looks like a crowd that's moving together. But nobody in that crowd actually stopped to think. They were all just pushed by emotion, by the algorithm, by whoever knew how to press the right buttons.
That's a very dark view of social media. And yes, we can see nowadays that social media is completely designed for it. And we can understand that the online warrior, the person who is fighting, who is absolutely sure they are fighting for the truth online, might just be someone whose slow, careful thinking has gone quiet, and someone else is doing the thinking for them.
That's exactly it. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. You stop being surprised by it. And that's already step one of surviving it. Understanding what you're actually looking at.
Right. And this is the part I know people came for. Real practical things on how to survive the world like this. And understanding why the world feels exhausting doesn't make it less exhausting. So how do we actually survive it?
The most important shift is this. Stop trying to change the people around you. Start protecting yourself from the effects of their behaviour. I know that sounds cold, but it's actually very freeing. Because most of the frustration we feel comes from a gap between how we think people should behave and how they actually do. And trying to close that gap by changing other people almost never works.
So what you're saying is that instead of trying to fix them, fighting, arguing with them, we just don't engage. We adjust ourselves, right?
You adjust your expectations. There's actually an ancient idea behind this. Marcus Aurelius, he was a Roman emperor about 2,000 years ago, and also a philosopher. He described a simple habit. Like, every morning he would remind himself, today I will meet someone who is unreasonable. Today I will deal with something that doesn't make sense. Not as a pessimistic thought, as a preparation. So when it happens, and it does happen, he wasn't surprised. He'd already planned for it.
Oh, that is interesting. So you are not shocked when it happens because you already expected it.
Right, and the name for this today is strategic low expectations, which sounds negative, but it's actually really practical. It just means go into situations with a realistic idea of what might go wrong. If you expect someone to be difficult, you won't be emotionally destroyed when they are. You've already saved your energy.
I like that because it's not about being pessimistic. It's about not being caught off guard every single time when this happens.
Exactly. Now, the second tool is about how you communicate when someone is being irrational. And here's the key thing. Logic usually doesn't work on someone who is acting on pure emotion. You can have the perfect argument, the clearest facts, and it will change absolutely nothing. Because they're not listening to your arguments, they're feeling something. And you can't win a feeling with a fact.
So, what do you do?
There's a technique called the grey rock method. The name sounds strange, a grey rock, but the idea is simple. When someone is being irrational, dramatic, or just trying to provoke you, you become as boring and neutral as a grey rock. Short answers, calm voice. Okay, I see. Got it. You give them nothing to hold on to, no emotion they can use to escalate, no argument they can fight back against. The goal is not to win. The goal is to simply not play the game.
Not to win, just not to play. That completely changes how we think about conflict.
And for situations where someone keeps making the same mistakes, not out of drama, just out of genuine confusion, the answer is also simpler than people expect. There are instances when someone's actions appear foolish simply because they genuinely lack knowledge. In that case, don't assume they understood. Don't assume common sense. Give clear, step-by-step instructions, and then ask them to repeat it back to you. Not to embarrass them, just to check that what you said is actually what they heard. Most mistakes don't come from stupidity. They come from two people assuming they're on the same page when they're not.
Right. So I think the practical version of our conversation today is watch where you spend your energy on. Because when you understand that people might be purely guided by emotions, arguing will be useless. When you understand that people are programmed by social media to be angry all the time, you start stepping away from it. And also, when you understand that some people might genuinely not understand your own words, you start thinking, maybe I should be clear. You save your energy instead of being stressed or exhausted by dealing with people all the time.
That's the whole thing, really.
Brenda, 2 weeks, 2 very big conversations. I feel like these episodes cover something that a lot of people feel, but nobody quite says out loud. Thank you so much for coming back, for helping me here one more week in this podcast.
Thank you for having me. And to everyone listening, the fact that you stayed for both of these episodes, that you kept listening even when the ideas got uncomfortable, that is exactly how you fight against what we've been describing. You're already doing the work to keep your attention, to keep your focus. And Diego, I always love joining FluentCast. The chats here are super engaging, and it's awesome that we get to help both students and non-students have a space to learn new ideas, practice some listening skills, and learn new vocab along the way.
That's it. And for everyone listening, if these 2 episodes meant something to you, please share with someone else. Share with one person who needs to hear this. It makes a real difference for us here at FluentCast. And thank you all for listening. I'm Diego. Take care of your attention, and I'll see you in our next episode next Monday. Take care, everyone, and bye-bye.
FluentCast is a production of Fluent English Academy. To learn English in a natural and practical way, visit www.fluentenglishacademy.com.br.